Namaste. The story around the origin of Shiv Tandav Stotram dates back to the time of Ramayana when Ravana, the king of Lanka, an ardent devotee of Shiv, tried to uproot Mount Kailash and carry it to his kingdom. The infuriated Shiv, with his merciless rage, made Kailash crash on Ravana, thus making him realize his folly. It was then that Ravana sang in the praise of Shiva, thus enamoring him to dance with happiness and devotion.
जटाटवी गलत जल प्रवाह पावितस्थले गलेवलम्ब्य लम्बितां भुजंग तुंग मालिकां डमट डमट डमन निनाद वड्ड मर्वयं चकार चंद तांडवं तनोतु न शिव शिवम्.
On the hallowed land, sanctified by the copious flow of water from the celestial river Ganga, meandering through the forest which is his matted locks, holding like a beautiful garland the hooded serpent who is snuggling around the dark neck of the Lord, playing a drum damaru to the regular beat, damad 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 damad. The Lord of eternal calm, Shiv, performed the dance shaking the world. May that Shiva shower his bountiful grace on us.
जटाकटाह संभ्रम ब्रह्मण्य लिंप निर्जरी विलोल वीचि वल्लरी विराजमान मूर्धनि धगत 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 ज्वलल ललाट पट्ट पावके किशोर चंद्रशेखरे रति प्रतीक्षणं मम.
My sincere and intensive devotion may be always directed towards Shiva, who has affectionately adorned the infant crescent moon on his hair. The deep inner recesses of his matted hair contain the celestial river Ganga, which is swirling in agitation and produces a tiny rivulet of delicate and bright waves of water washing gently his wide forehead. That wide forehead which houses Shiva's fierce third eye, burning with the hissing sound Dhagat Dhagat Dhagat.
धराधरेन्द्र नंदनी विलास बंधु वंतु रसपुरद्दिगंत संतति प्रमोदमान मानसे कृपा कटाक्ष धोरणी निरुद्ध दुर्धरापदी वचिद्दिगंबरे मनो विनोद मेतु वस्तुनि.
The concert of the ever sportive daughter of the mountain, whose mind rejoices at her sidelong glances, with the stream of merciful look which removes hardships, makes my mind take pleasure in who wears the directions as apparel. Shiva has a mind flowing with great ecstasy, flowing in all directions till the end of the universe. That ecstasy oozing out in all ebullience from the Lord's mind, which is shining forth in the constant presence.
जटा भुजंग पिंगल स्फुरत् फणामणि प्रभा कदम्ब कुमकुमद्रव प्रलिप्त दिग्वधु मुखे मदान्ध सिन्धुरस्फुरत् तगत्तरीय मेदुने मनो विनोद मधुगुतं बिभर्तु भूत भर्तरि.
The imagery is sublime. The Lord is dancing and the snake adhering to his neck is swinging with hood down. The gem embedded in the hood radiates brownish red luster, and those rays of reddish brown hue are painting the faces of all the cardinal directions as if they were brides being given makeup for the marriage. The Lord, who is the protector of all mild beings in the forest, once captured a rutty elephant which was doing damage to all, tore off its skin and wore it as uttariyam or upper garment. The uttariyam is shining with red color of the blood of the elephant and the dark color of the elephant's skin. The Lord is the master of all living beings, the Pashupati.
सहस्त्रलोचन प्रभृत्य शेष लेख शेखर प्रसून धूलि धोरणी विधूसरांध्र पीठभू भुजंग राजमालया निबद्ध जात झूटक शिवे चिराय जाय दाम चकोर बंधु शेखरम.
The Shiva who has kept the crescent of the moon who is the friend of the chakora bird, in his hair may be pleased to bestow on me wealth and welfare forever and without interruption. That moon is held in the matted lock of the Shankar, whose cluster of hair is tied together with a rope which is none other than the king of serpents. The stool of bright golden color upon which Shiv's foot is placed has turned grey because it is smeared thickly with the dust falling from the flowers from the row heads of gods like Indra of the 1,000 eyes, who place their heads at the feet of Lord Shiva.
ललाट चत्वरज्वल धनञ्जया स्फुलिङ्गभानि पीत पञ्चसायकं न मन्निलिम्पनायकं सुधामयूखलेखया विराजमान शेखरं महाकपालि सम्पदे शिरोजतालमस्तु नः.
The rays of moon are supposed to shower health and grace as if they are carrying with them Amrit. The matted locks in the head is compared with some sort of shrine which has a quadrangle where a great yagna is done. The quadrangle or courtyard is the wide forehead of the Lord and fire pit or homakundam for such yagna, the Lord's third eye, where the real Agni Dev resides. Once when Shankar was doing penance and was in samadhi, the Lord of Love, Kamadev, wanted to wake him up from his penance and shot at the Lord his 5 arrows of flowers, ashok, white lotus, blue lotus, jasmine and mango. The flowers would have aroused erotic feelings in others, but they failed before the Lord. The Lord was enraged at being woken up from his samadhi and just looked at the intruder with his third eye, which emitted fire, and Kamdev was reduced to ashes.
कराल भाल पट्टिका धगत 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 ज्वल धनंजया हुटीकृत प्रचंड पंच साय के धराधरेंद्र नंदनी कुचाग्र चित्र पत्रक प्रकल्पनेक शिल्पनी त्रिलोचने रतिर्मम.
May my mind be immersed in affectionate and respectful thoughts on that Shiva, the three-eyed one. The fire emanating with a hissing sound, dhagat, 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 from the third eye present in the Shiva's wide forehead, just received as oblation the impetuous Lord of Love who wielded arrows made of 5 flowers.
नवीन मेघ मंडली निरुद्ध दुर्धर स्फुरत कुहू निशीथि नीतम प्रबद्ध बंध कंधरम निलिम्प निर्जरीधरस्त नोतु कृति सिंधुर कला निधान बंधुर श्रियम जगंधुरंधर.
May the great Lord Shiva bestow on us all wealth and his grace. The Lord, who appears as if his neck is tightly fastened by a pitch dark brace of utter blackness resembling the darkness of a new moon night filtered by layers of fresh black clouds, who emerged out of the lingam and killed the demon in the shape of an elephant and wore its bleeding skin as his upper garment. The Lord who shines forth with the crescent of the moon adorning his head, who carries in him the whole universe with all strength and valor.
प्रफुल्ल नील पंकज प्रपंच कालिम प्रभावलंबि कंठ कंडली रुचि प्रबद्ध कंधरम स्मरच्छिदम पुरच्छिदम भवच्छिदम मखच्छिदम गजच्छिदांध कच्छिदम तमंत कच्छिदम भजे.
I take refuge on that Shiva, the Lord, whose throat is nestled by the dark blue kandali flowers, which agree in hue and sheen with the dark blue lotuses worn by him around his neck. The Lord, who by opening his third eye reduced the god of love, Kamadev, to ashes, who destroyed the 3 cities, Tripuras, occupied by fierce demons, who removes our worldly woes. The Lord who desecrated the yagna arranged by Daksh Prajapati, who pulverized the demon Gajasur, who took the shape of an elephant and tried to fight with Shiva. The Supreme Lord tore up the skin of the elephant and wore it as his upper garment, who killed the evil demon Andhakasura of 1,000 heads, who tried to abduct Uma Parvati.
अखर्व सर्व मंगलाकला कदंब मंजरी रस प्रवाह माधुरी विजृंभणा मधुव्रतम स्मरांतकम पुरांतकम भवांतकम मखांतकम गजांतकांतकांतकम तमंतकांतकम भजे.
Flowers ornamenting the head of Lord Shiva are blooming, and the fragrance is spreading all around, and the sweet honey is also oozing from them. The honeybees, attracted by the nectar, are encircling the garlands excitedly and thus swarming around the head of the Lord. He is the killer of Kamdev. The 3 cities are worldly woes and the Yagna of Daksha. He is the killer of the demon in the form of an elephant, the demon Andhaka, and Yam, the god of death himself.
जयत्वद ब्रवी ब्रह्म ब्रह्मद भुजंगमश्वस द्विनिर्गमत क्रमस्फुरत कराड भाळ हव्यवाद दिमिद 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 ध्वनन मृदंग तुंग मंगड़ ध्वनि क्रम प्रवर्तित प्रचंड तांडव शिव.
May that Shiva, who is performing the fierce dance at the deluge of the universe, be victorious forever. That Shiva, who is performing the dance in the free and uninhabited movements, and the snakes occupying all over his body are also whirling around as a result of the dance, and they spew venom through their breaths. That Shiva, whose temple houses the third eye where fire is smoldering, the Shiva is performing his dance to the accompaniment of the beats of Mridanga in the high-pitched cadence, filling the air with the blessed musical notes. Dimid, dimid, dimid.
त्रिशद्व चित्र तल्पयोर भुजंग मौक्ति कसरजोर गरिष्ठ रत्न लोष्ठयो सुरद् विपक्ष पक्षयो तृणारविंद चक्षुषो प्रजामहि महेंद्रयो समं प्रवृत्ति यन्मना कदा सदा शिवं भजे.
When will I have the good fortune to worship with all sincerity the Lord of eternal peace, Sadashiva, the Lord who shows equanimity and equal mercy and concern for things which occupy clearly different levels? A snake encircling his neck and a garland of pearls are just equal to him. Neither a treasure of very precious stones or a piece of stone on a wooden log make any difference for him. He is equally cordial to those who are friendly with him or even those who are opposed to him. He does not see any differences in beauty between a piece of grass or a person having attractive eyes resembling lotuses.
कदा निलिम्प निर्जरी निकुंज कोटरे वसन विमुक्ति दुर्मति सदा शिरस्त मंजलिम वहन विमुक्त लोल लोचनो ललाम भाल लग्न का शिवेति मंत्र मुच्चरण कदा सुखी भवाम्यहम्.
When will I have the good fortune to worship with all sincerity the Lord of eternal peace, Sadashiva, the Lord who shows equanimity and equal mercy and concern for things which occupy clearly different levels? A snake encircling his neck and a garland of pearls are just equal to him. Neither a treasure of very precious stones or a piece of stone on a wooden log make any difference for him. He is equally cordial to those who are friendly with him or even those who are opposed to him. He does not see any differences in beauty between a piece of grass or a person having attractive eyes resembling lotuses.
इदं हि नित्यमेव मुक्तमुत्तमोत्तमं स्तवं पठन् स्मरन् ब्रुवन् नरो विशुद्धिमेति सन्ततं हरे गुरोसु भक्तिमाशु नान्यथा हीनं गतिं विमोहनं हि देहिनं सशङ्करस्य चिन्तनम्.
If a man reads, meditates upon, recites daily the above hymn in praise of Lord Shiva, he becomes free of all impurities and surely attains sublimity. The hymn is the best among the best. One who recites this hymn becomes an ardent devotee of Hara, the Shankar, who is the Guru, the preceptor and the father of all of us, the human beings. He will not have any occasions to suffer the experience of being thrown to the worldly woes created by fate.